Hi people, welcome to the Cowbridge kitchen. We're here exclusively to show you guys how to cook like a pro. Okay, going to show you some tips, going to show you some tricks and a few little nifty workarounds so that you get it right first time, every time. Okay, we're here today to show you how to make an authentic restaurant quality chicken tikka masala. We all seem to like a good curry. And there's nothing more satisfying than being able to make your own. So I'm here to show you how to do it. What we're going to start off with is some chicken. Okay, so we need to cut our chicken up first, so let's get on with that. Okay, so quite simple. I'm going to use a chicken breast. Some people use chicken thigh, which is fine. A lot of people say that a chicken thigh holds more juice and is better, and I tend to agree with that. But for today's purposes, I'm going to use a chicken breast. I'm going to just cut off the back half of that breast because I don't really want to use that because we want some nice sort of lean and complicated meat, if you like. First thing we're going to do, I'm going to cut it into strips, okay? So we're going to cut, say, 3 strips from this chicken. And incidentally, I'm making a curry for one. Alright, this is just for one person, one quick Indian curry in a container. We're going to cut our chicken into whatever sizes you like. Doesn't need to be too big. There we go. So we've got them and our last piece. Cut these a little tiny bit smaller to give us a bit of variation. There we are, okay. Chicken cut into a container. So what we need to do next, obviously, for the curry, we need to put an onion. So we've peeled an onion, nice peeled onion, okay, cut him into halves. This doesn't have to be, it's not a science, okay, it can be randomly chopped. Let's get him all sliced up and just chop this onion into bits. If it goes, just chop it, it's fine. Okay, I mean that is probably about as tidy as it needs to get. So we can get that into my bowl. We'll do the other side of this onion now. And yeah, you're all going to say, oh, but that's cheating. What I'm going to do with this, I'm not going to put a crushed clove of garlic in there or anything like that. I am literally trying to show you how to get this curry done as quick as possible. So I'm going to use, yep, I'm going to say it, some lazy garlic. Hey. But hey, I don't care what you think of me. Lazy garlic works, okay? It's garlic and oil, and it works fine. Okay, so the key to the curry is obviously the mix of spices. So I'll show you what we're going to use. Okay, we're going to use some ground fenugreek, paprika, mostly for colour. We're not going to use curry powder. We're going to use some hot chili powder. Going to use a bit of ground ginger, and I'm also going to use some crushed ginger paste as well. Garam masala, turmeric, also for colour mostly. I've got some coriander puree. I mean, it's a bit of a cheat, but you know, we want to do this quick. Coriander puree, or you could chop up some fresh coriander, and I'm going to use a small squirt of tomato puree if I've got any left in it. I think I have. So that's our paste mix. Okay, doesn't really matter what order you put them in, as long as you remember what you put in there. Okay, so we're going to go for a tikka. So what we're going to do, I'm doing a curry for one, as I mentioned earlier. So I'm going to do one teaspoon ratio, okay? So just one teaspoon, okay? Especially with the chili powder, make sure it's just a nice level teaspoon, okay? Of chili. That's that one. Then we'll add a nice teaspoon of paprika. We're going to add a teaspoon, if I've got a teaspoon, of my ground fenugreek. That could go in there as well. Ground ginger. With the ginger, be generous. Okay, be generous with the ginger. A nice ginger flavour is pretty important, especially in an Indian curry. We want a nice big teaspoon of garam masala as well, okay? Because this is tikka masala, you know, we want to get that garam masala in there. That's going to add a little bit to the spice of it as well. Teaspoon of turmeric. That can go in there. Okay, now we're going to add the paste. Okay, so we've got the crushed garlic paste here. So I'm going to put a really good, generous teaspoon of this in there. I mean, maybe even 2 teaspoons, you know, to get that flavour going. But still, we're working on a 1 teaspoon mixture. Okay, what we need then is a bit of coriander in there. Okay, not a great deal left in there, but if we squeeze it, we can get about a teaspoon out. That's good. Okay, so 1 teaspoon of coriander. Keep the tomato puree now for later on, because we'll use this just to sort of pep the colour up a little tiny bit. Okay, so we've got our paste there, so I can show you this. There we are. Okay, that's our curry paste all ready to go. So we're not going to add anything to that. It's going to go in dry because the chicken, when the chicken goes in the pan, it's going to produce its own juices as well. And I'm going to put this into the mix with the chicken, which I'll show you in a second, and that will produce a beautiful tikka flavour. Okay, so moving on over to the stove now. We've got a pan here. Okay, we've got a pan. We're going to pop that on the stove, and we're going to get our chicken cooking into that pan. Okay, with the onions and, dare I say it again, the lazy garlic all mixed up there. And a little bit of rapeseed oil. Okay, this is always quite nice, just to sort of put a little splash of that in with the onions. That'll add a nice authentic flavour to it, get that mixed in. Okay, what we've got, the trick now, okay, is we're going to get a pan now on the stove. Get that heated up nicely. I'm going to use some butter with this curry, okay, we need lots of butter in this. So don't be shy with it. You want to put 2 good lumps of butter in there, okay, just like so. Going to get that butter nice and melted now. Once that butter's melted, onions going to go in there, and we're going to get them softened for a little while. Probably cook them for about 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, into our butter. So we'll just let that melt. Okay, as you can see, our butter is best part melted now. Okay, so literally now just get the onions and the lazy garlic, get it all into the pan. Okay, and you'll hear that start to cook quite nicely. Okay, with your spoon, nice wooden spoon now, okay, get those mixed around. You can hear them sizzling, and to be honest, you can already get the smell of those onions cooking. Turn the heat down, we don't want to burn them, we just want to cook them. So we shall leave those onions in there now, approximately 3 or 4 minutes, and then we'll be able to add our chicken. So, as we can see, our onions have been cooking now for approximately 2 or 3 minutes, at a guess. What we're going to do now at this stage, we're just going to add the chicken to it, okay? So our chopped up chicken that we did earlier, just get that, you don't have to touch it with your hands, but there we go, just get that into the pan, okay, and mix that now around with your onions. Okay, don't have to be too exact with it. Get that all mixed in there. Well, what we're going to do with this, because this chicken is going to produce its own natural juice, what I'm going to do, dead simple trick, okay, I'm going to get a plate, 1 plate, and I'm going to pop that on top of that pan. Got a little place there to rest my spoon. What more can I want? Leave that to cook. That chicken now will produce its own juice. By the time we take this lid off, or this plate off, in about 5 minutes, that chicken should be getting nice and juicy in there, okay? So we just leave that go now, probably not 5 minutes, say about 3 minutes. Right, so time to look at the chicken. Now it's been cooking for about 2 minutes, that's all. As you can see, it's part cooked. It's not fully cooked, it's still getting there. But at this stage now, it's getting nice and juicy. What I want to do is I'm going to add the dry spices. So all the dry spices that we made up earlier, literally just scrape them in there. Get the whole lot into that mix, okay? And you may be thinking now at this point, well, that's going to be pretty dry. And you'd kind of be right, but what's going to happen as we mix this in, shake the pan a little bit, mix it in, okay? Don't go too mad, otherwise you're going to wind up with spices all over the place. And as you can see, the colour now of that chicken is beginning to turn. And it's turned into a pretty decent sort of curry colour. Okay, what we're going to do again now, make sure that everything is still nicely in that pan. The chicken's well coated in the spices, yeah? And you're going to leave it to cook. And this is where you're just going to leave it for 5 minutes. I'm not going to touch it, I'm not going to do a thing. Okay, it's all pretty well coated now, that chicken. I'm going to put my plate back on it. I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit so it doesn't burn. And I'm just going to let that chicken just produce its own juices. And by the time I take this lid back off, that is going to be, that which was dry is going to be full of nice fresh chicken juice, and it's going to smell delicious. Okay, time to check the tikka now. So we take this lid off, you're going to see how much juice this chicken has actually produced. Look at that juice. I've added no juice to that whatsoever, all from the chicken. And that's our chicken tikka. Okay, so what we're going to do now is make it into a chicken tikka masala. 2 main ingredients you need for this, okay? One is single cream and I'm going to use a coconut yogurt. I know, don't condemn me for putting coconut in a tikka, but trust me, adds to the flavour. Okay, so we've got a single cream here, okay, there we are, one single cream. And all we're going to do, add a generous splash to it, okay? Not a whole lot, depends how much juice you want. And as you mix this in now, you watch that cream, that's just going to change colour to a lovely tikka colour. We stir it all in. There we are, look at that going. Okay, so that's your base there now for your tikka. And to be fair, the colour's already looking quite good. And what I'm going to do now, I am going to add a coconut yogurt, because trust me, this coconut yogurt will make a difference. Get yourself a serving spoon, okay, and you want at least one good serving spoon of that coconut yogurt in there. I like coconut yogurt, so I'm going to have 1.5. Okay, and like I say, you can do this kind of to your own preference. Get this cooking away now, and honestly, the smell coming out of this, I wish you could smell it. At this point, just the smell alone is telling you you have got a fantastic curry, and it's going to be good. It's going to be good. Pretty confident in that. You can smell the coconut coming through. So get the heat up now, okay? We'll get that mixed in again. Okay, last thing now, I'm just going to add a small amount of this tomato puree, okay? Just to authenticate the colour up a little bit, really. Get a good squirt in there, okay? You're going to need to mix it in quite carefully, and then you'll see it change colour again. Get into a nice darker tikka colour. There we go. Okay, and for me, that is done. Okay, so all we need to do with this curry now, as you can see, looking pretty spectacular. Cook it on the stove, cook it for a little bit longer, give it 5 minutes, and then we're going to get that on a plate. And I'm pretty confident that's going to taste fantastic, or at least as good as it smells.